Hey guys, and welcome back to Mary J's Natural Health. So I am going to talk to you guys today about an ongoing issue I've had for about over 2 years now. And I have struggled a lot with, and I've done a lot of research and tried a lot of different things, but I found a new correlation and a new path of testing things out to see if it helps get rid of the problem. So as you guys may know, for those of you who follow my channel, I struggle with chronic idiopathic urticaria. When I got the idiopathic urticaria, or hives basically, my doctors put me on steroids. Now, this isn't my first time I've had to do this before. This is just the longest bout I've ever had. But this time around, the steroids were not helping as much. Now, I clearly started with antihistamines, H2 blockers, etc., before moving on to the steroid, but I pretty much knew I was going to need the steroid. But once it started getting to a lengthened state of time without the steroid working, it really started making me question a lot of different things. The bacteria in my gut, mold toxicity, a bunch of different things can affect or cause hive hormonal imbalances. And so I went to my doctors. None of them would really test me for it. As many of you guys who follow me know, I've struggled working with Western medicine quite a bit in the last few years. Well, once I kind of stopped my probiotic completely, my hives got infinitely better, which pointed me into the direction of seeing what's in the gut, because the immune system functions from the gut. So if something's wrong with your gut, your immune system might react in a certain way. But going back into the Western medicine side of things, I went to 1,000 doctors and none of them would help me. None of them would test me for bacterial overgrowths. So it was just like I was hitting this wall. So I started taking things in my own hands, doing my own research, trying out fecal testing, etc., and nothing seemed to work. I did a treatment program for SIBO, mold toxicity, and yeast overgrowth, which it could still be yeast overgrowth that's causing it, because yeast overgrowth and hives are directly interrelated. Now, something I've also talked about on this channel that is highly important to what we're going to talk about today is leaky gut syndrome, which is pretty much combined with yeast overgrowth. And leaky gut is when there's intestinal permeability, so there's gaps in the intestine allowing toxins to flow into your bloodstream, which causes your immune system to overreact. It also causes oxidative stress on the body as well as chronic inflammation, which leads to another host of issues such as diseases, cancers, etc. Chronic inflammation is the number one cause of issues in the body. Now, we could talk about each of those subjects independently, but today I want to talk to you about the link between the H. pylori or helicobacteria in the body and hives. So one of the tests, or all of the tests that I've done in terms of stool testing to test the bacteria that's in my body, those were not included. And I recently stumbled across a bunch of articles the other day, because it's not surface level, they don't want you to find it, about the link between this bacteria and hives. And it seems like pretty much a decent chunk of people that have this bacterial overgrowth also get chronic urticaria. So we want to talk about the H. pylori bacteria today, and there's several ways of testing for it. Now, I have a test signed up for tomorrow to go test for it, but I've already gone ahead, figured out the treatment program that I would like to follow. It is completely natural and completely safe to your microbiome that will help reduce it will also helping to fix some of the things that it causes. So H. pylori can be caused by saliva swapping, dirty water, dirty utensils. So more than half of people have this bacteria in them, but a lot of people don't react to the bacteria. Now, I have an overactive immune system, which I know, but there should be ways of combating it and getting it to work. Now, I've taken so many different things for so many different causes. So each of my set treatment programs you can pretty much follow on my channel, whether it was for the mold toxicity, which I'm going to redo again after I treat for the H. pylori. And I quite honestly don't even need the test for the H. pylori. I'm going to try the treatment program regardless, because the things that I am going to talk about, which I will do in my next video, are completely safe for the body, and they help get rid of bad bacteria while leaving the good bacteria. So let's say it's not H. pylori, but it's still a bacterial overgrowth. I might be solving it just through the medications I'm about to take. And I've talked to you guys about some natural antibiotics before, but I've also found some new great ones that are really specific in helping with the H. pylori. And again, I will do this in my next video. So what H. pylori is it's a bacteria that everybody has in their body, and what it causes is not only inflammation, but it is the leading cause of ulcers in the intestine lining as well as intestinal permeability. And as I mentioned before, intestinal permeability is extremely not good, to say it lightly, just due to the fact that once you have the permeability, pretty much so many bad things are able to enter your bloodstream. And so if you have these ulcers as well as these holes in your intestinal lining, you could also have a yeast overgrowth, and then yeast is entering your bloodstream, which could cause a whole host of issues such as skin issues, acne, internal issues, etc., etc. So in my next video, guys, I am going to talk to you about what medications I am using, how long I'm going to use them for, and what their effect on the H. pylori is. I'm also going to include some peer-reviewed studies right here showing the link between H. pylori and chronic urticaria and the success rate of treating H. pylori, which just naturally cures chronic hives. Now, chronic hives, like I said before, could be caused by a host of different things. So all of the treatment things that I've done are way beyond surface level, and you will not find them on your typical Google search unless you're searching for the right terms, such as chronic urticaria and mold toxicity. If you just type in chronic urticaria, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get what you're looking for. You're going to get surface level things that say it is unknown. But in addition to that, I've also stumbled across something else called DAO, and it is a digestive enzyme that also helps to heal intestinal permeability, but stops histamine from being produced due to intestinal permeability. Once again, unless you look up those specific words, you will not find anything out there on it. So overall, I was just kind of jumping on here to let you know that I've found a new correlation between things. I am going to basically biohack myself to see if this works, just like I've done with just about everything else. I really appreciate it if you guys would support me by liking, subscribing, and commenting below. It helps the algorithm get out to new people that might be struggling with the same thing. It's also just great for the general public to know because, like I said, H. pylori can lead to chronic inflammation in the body, and more than 50% of people do have chronic inflammation. Whether they're willing to take action on it or not is their own decision, but being informed about your chronic inflammation, which your doctors, again, will not tell you about, and it's not that they're trying to hurt you, it is that they are indoctrinated to only know the stuff that they've been taught. They're not critical thinkers, they're not magic makers, and they're not informed about the capacity of natural medicine and how it could be way more beneficial than any antibiotic you take. If you go to the doctor and you get an H. pylori test, which you can ask for at your general practitioners, they probably will deny you because mine did. As this is why I go to a integrative health doctor now, because I feel like if I ask her for a test, she's willing and ready to do it, and we work out treatment plans together. This, so far, I have not worked out a treatment plan with her, but we've gone over the fact that I want to test it out, and it almost seemed like she knew about H. pylori and the connection between chronic hives, but then again, every business is a business. If they heal you, you're completely no longer a customer, so why would you do that? Why would you heal someone 100% completely? So I have found great success in a lot of things, such as mast cell deactivation, stopping my probiotic, because if you're taking a probiotic and you have a bacterial overgrowth, it's not only feeding the good bacteria, but it's feeding the bad bacteria. So overall, I am going to take it to myself. I will keep you guys updated on how it is going. It should be about a 2-week program, and like I said before, everything is completely natural and safe for the body. And I can't say completely natural because Pepto-Bismol is one of the things that you are kind of going to have to take, but the other 2 ingredients are completely natural, and they have amazing efficacy rates on several case studies showing their true and genuine effectiveness. And back to the DAO, which is an enzyme that helps heal the intestinal lining and the gut while blocking histamines. No, you will not find a doctor that will tell you about that. It is extremely hidden. And the only reason I've come across it is because I do literally probably 72 hours a week of research on this when I can, as I also struggle with other issues that I'm trying to resolve, again, naturally, whether that be hair loss. So if you guys are losing hair, definitely subscribe. I'm starting a whole series on my hair loss regimen because it is completely natural, completely effective, and it is more effective, actually, in accordance to the case studies, than minoxidil phystinerine and all of those toxic over-the-counter things that your doctors will give you. If you also suffer with endocrine system issues, subscribe. The prednisone that they put me on for my chronic hives destroyed my endocrine system, so now I am left to pick up the pieces and put it back together myself, because why would I trust them when they did that to me? So, also liver issues. Again, another side effect of my prednisone or prolonged prednisone use. I suffer from chronic liver issues, so I will show you guys natural remedies that you can do to reverse that, as I just got my last test results back, and thankfully my liver is starting to look better. And I am an extremely healthy person. I exercise regularly, eat whole foods, do all of the right things, so no one should be suffering with the things that I suffer from. But most of the things that most people are suffering from with chronic illness can be cured naturally, and your doctors truly, truly, truly will not tell you about them. So definitely make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.